greetings for joining us. Okay, I'm going to all right, do some alien investigations. Sort of. There's been such a cover up on anything UFO connected, so I don't really do much on it anymore. Because not to say there was anything going on before, because I've done alien channelings to shake a stick at, as they say. So I've done enough of that. I can bring some of them here and there, but kind of beat it to death. I'm not sure if any of them have anything to say other than everything they've already said. But so back in 1967, it was a UFO attack on a nuclear Air Force base in Montana. It had nuclear weapons. And you probably heard about some of this. It happened when they were trying to blow the planet up back in the 60s, basically. UFOs are disarming nuclear weapons. And it doesn't, but you don't really hear about them going to Air Force bases not like this. Usually, I've heard about it in the past. I haven't gone into it too much, or at all for that matter. Of course, they allowed nuclear bombs to be set, which is interesting. Because back in the 50s, they're bombing, the Pacific Ocean. They were testing things out for a long time. Those are like neutron bombs. Like, holy shit, that's not gonna blow the planet up practically. The UFOs are known to disable nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles. There's also a site, the Minuteman site. That's in, I guess, South Dakota. I think there's other sites where this connected, but basically, if we're ready for World War III, they just unleashed the missiles, and probably that was during the Cold War. But basically, I think several UFO sightings at this Air Force base, nuclear Air Force base, kind of harassing them, angry, obviously. Because the military is just so ignorant about it. They don't care. At least those that are running it, at least. But it's just enough to. Not blow it. Well, I imagine there's enough to blow the planet up eventually, if everything was unleashed around the world. So they don't take it. They don't take it. They always didn't take it too lightly. But of course, those are the trigger finger here. Don't care too much. So you just don't hear about. And this has been a cover up. There's several cover ups throughout history. There's a lot of covers up right, man. It's just there's no whistleblowers like every now and then maybe, and it's some kind of SSP reality you can't prove. So that's not gonna help anything. It's like it's just amazing how the blackout is. It's so strong at this point. I think it was what Stephen Greer is kind of like begging for whistleblowers at this point because they're just not coming forward. So you see whistleblowers in the media about media nonsense that's going on, but nothing about the UFO stuff. So Fritzy's here somewhere. Fritzy's here to be my co-pilot here. She's not going to come to the video. She'll just, what she does, she'll just freak out. I don't know why she does that. She's helping out. Priscilla is somewhere sleeping. She pops up every now and then. Of course, it's past her bedtime. It's at 1 o'clock. So going to the nuclear. So the UFOs around the nuclear fields, Palladian. There might be some Syrian energies there too. Palladian or Syrian is what I get from that. So even then they're covering this stuff up, obviously. So. I'll go into a news article about it. Also, Pepe, the frog, the magic frog, the Illuminati frog. They probably haven't heard about. That was a suggestion to channel Pepe through ET Origins. So I wasn't going to do it, but it's like other videos been pop up about it. So like Pepe the frog. Jeez. Okay, sure. And I guess they don't make any more Pepe the frog memes or. I don't know how that's working exactly, but I guess it had its day apparently. But yeah, there was a time when it was everywhere. So we're tapping into those energies, and just there is some elitist energy there for sure, because it kind of took over, um, in mainstream for a while. I forget why they don't want to use it anymore, but it's who cares? It's just weird. And Egghead. So it's different. We just leave it, just basically an egg being, or people, or bald people, or whatever it might be. Some of them are game show hosts. Just the egghead concept, not rituals, not spells, because there's some of that going on. I guess some of it's connected to Aleister Crowley, which I wasn't aware of, but that's none of that. I'm not putting. There's none of that. Just the egghead. Well, even like the universe is said to be like the shape of an egg. The egg format. Yeah, the movie Alien has an egg. I'm not sure where other egg. It's like, I guess there's an egg conspiracy out there somewhere. I don't look too much into it. I don't know if I have the capacity to do it. I don't know if I have the interest to do it. But anyway, there is kind of like an egg. They have an egg shortage energy that's out there, which I'm not sure if that ever happened. Yeah, they're just using eggs against us. But anyway, just something about the egg. Use your own intuition about all that. Pepe the Frog, I guess, his timeline, because the guy who created Pepe the Frog didn't want it to be used anymore, but not that he can stop everybody from using it, but whatever it might be. It's like a magic frog. Of course, it'll probably hallucinogen. Well, it is a political frog for sure. So it's like a being from another reality. So an alien from another reality. So if you wonder where the aliens are. This one I forgot. It comes to mind. Might as well go into it. Let me type it up real quick. Something came up recently. A non-binary transformer. I guess I could have put in the title here, but I'm not trying to make it a subject matter here either. So, all right, we'll go into all of this. See where we get with any of this. Fritz is roaming around here, taking over the place as usual. As I'm total account with private sessions. We have the scheduler. We have a shop here. I'm on like the third, like May 3rd or something, or May 5th. I'm pretty backed up. I'll be catching up soon. The webinar, social network, behind the scenes, and the archive. Energies. And then I wasn't going to do this non-binary thing, but it's coming to mind. So I think I can go here. So it's interesting. It's a non-binary character. This is kind of off subject. I wasn't going to do this, but it's interesting. Well, kids' cartoons have always had something. It's happier not to have any gender, but that is the higher dimensions. And it's funny how it goes with a kids show. I mean, they put all kinds of stuff in kids shows, but violence, Bugs Bunny, all trying to kill each other. What was it? Daffy Duck was a transvestite. So, there's always going to be stuff in kids. But it's funny how not that I'm trying to push any agenda here or anything like that, but it's interesting how even Disney's been doing a lot of stuff they probably shouldn't be doing. But, they're talking to us the high vibrational reality. It's not to say this is the best delivery. But yeah, this is not good for kids, but either way, it's there. But anyway, this is the alien energies. I mean, all this whole gender thing is all alien connected. So high vibrational, no gender. You can change your gender any day you want. So it gets kind of complicated there. So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go too much into that one. Got Pepe the Frog. Yeah, just I guess that's when he died, I guess. But yeah, yeah, Jones got, I think, sued by Pepe. He was just everywhere. So I don't know. Is he political? I guess he can be. I guess he's a diverse frog. He's into a little bit of everything. Okay, maybe too much. So yeah. So what just happened to some of those energies? Yeah, lovely. So this is the UFO attack on Air Force Base. Left guards screaming and babbling, and happened about over 50 years ago. Yeah, it's a Montana Malmstrom base. And I have that here. So it's Montana, by the Canadian border practically. And it's not much to show here, of course. Yeah, just there's not. Yeah, they're not going to show much here for obvious reasons. Anyway, but yeah, it has colleagues saw 8 orange-colored lights over the base, which was holding 10 nuclear missiles. So how the guards dash safety overall, the shaped craft disarmed the nukes. Interesting. And he says the government covered it up. After 5 minutes later, he calls back. Everybody's screaming. Everybody's freaking out. Yeah, and of course, when you mention the whole UFO, people start laughing and all that. It's like, that's not real. Yeah, and then the government covered it up. So, as usual, that's more of the MJ12 energies there. And yeah, the Minuteman. This is not related to it really, but it feels like it kind of is. But this is in South Dakota, I guess. I guess this facility is shut down. I don't know, but either way, this is the facility that can blow the planet up if we go into World War III. Something around those lines. Something like that. Not that it's going to happen. So anyway, let's see here. So we tap into. I'm sure everything is running all right. So far, so good. All right, so what's happened to the alien? Yeah, alien. I feel like the aliens were kind of upset with us for obvious reasons. Yeah, just negligence on the human part, at least. So going to the UFO energy is there for that. Pepe the frog and Egghead, just basically. So Egghead would just let him or let that whatever it is to kind of introduce itself. I don't think many people channel Egg. Well, it's not all bald people, but I guess it sometimes are bald people. Eggheads don't always have the best intentions. Let's put it that way. All right, Lex Luthor's an egghead, so if that's helpful to understand where we're going with all this. So I guess some James Bond villains are eggheads. What was it? Dr. Evil was an egghead, so it kind of gives you, an idea where we're going with this. So that was an awesome powers. So okay, all right, going to UFO energies. Let's see what comes through on that one. Okay, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greens, we have the Arcturians. You say there are several alien beings that are sent to your world to, yes, disarm the destruction of your Earth for various different reasons. Why? It just basically, you have many alien groups that are here that are just summoned, just asked. It's like they get a message from other or even a higher consciousness. It's like there's danger on the Earth. It's time to intervene and fix it. So why are aliens allowed to do that and not to connect with you? Because obviously the missiles are about destroying the planet, basically all life here. And it's not necessary, not on this timeline. There are other versions of Earth where if you can say it finds a way around its protection, but this planet is protected overall. I mean, you can do whatever you want here, be confused, be under mind control. That is where we can't always intervene, but destruction of the earth, we can intervene. Because you have to, humanity has to learn as it needs to on an even flow. As some of you understand, others are having difficulties digesting it for obvious reasons. They're not getting what they want to hear. Basically, a transport to another planet. Obviously, they're not getting that either for obvious reasons. Well, it's not always be obvious for you here, but of course, your human collective is technically a collective. Doesn't mean it's a hive mind, but you're learning together, even if you don't feel that way. This is basically your Earth family. And if you don't get along with everyone, not to say you're meant to, but obviously many of you are from other places, other universes, and you're directing your energy for the Earth to succeed in its growth. Yes, it does. It does go backwards many times, but it's up to, like, many of you that are here to help evolve the planet are not involved with these manipulations, but the collective here needs it for its growth. So, meaning that those of you that are here to, high vibrationally help the earth evolve, you don't feel like you don't feel like you're part of this narrative, this mind control that's going on the planet. I mean, obviously there's some meaning to be a human. There's a profile you have to take. Not to say it's mind control, but basically you got to take a role here. You have to have a name. You have to have last name, first name, whatever it might be. Some of you might, some of you actually go by a name of a letter or a color or a name of a tree. You don't bother with names at all. You might have, it was like, hey, that's a nice name. That's, you find a title for yourself to some level. Just grab a name out of somewhere and just call me Hibiscus or something. And don't worry about it. Don't make a big deal about it. But here on this world, obviously are given this name and they put a number to it, they add taxes to it, and they do all kinds of things. So tracking you with your social security number, whatever that might be. So it's like it shows you the complexity of this reality. So some of you come into the wilderness, it's like climbing a mountain is one thing, but coming into this world is probably no different. Well, not everybody's aware of all of the complexities of this reality. So, because you're living it. Well, you connect to other realities, but some of you are used to more simpler places, obviously is the opposite of what some of you are used to. But all this is nuclear energies. So meaning that some of you that are here, the help of the earth to evolve, are most likely involved with protecting the earth, like for calling in ETs to assist with nuclear disarmament, the Minuteman facility being deactivated. Much of it hasn't been deactivated. Would they be successful in destroying the world? No. Well, they can cause it harm, yes, but that's been, it's like the whole thing in Ukraine. It's like, let them fight each other, just don't blow the place up. Because that would cause like a whole like the Ukraine would be decimated. It depends on how it's done. It can cause world effects. Of course, you're already feeling world effects as it is, but if it's actually destroyed by nuclear missiles, that's going to affect everybody here. That's the last thing anyone needs at this point. So, and why certain places are protected and other places are not, like your 2020. Obviously gets kind of political, but once again, there's a hands-off in some cases that can't always be easily explained. But once again, some of you are here part of this, the protection of the earth, might not always think too deeply of. Some are so lost here at this point. Yes, spiritually awakened to a certain level, but also spiritually lost. There's a lot of that going on. Well, it's looking for a place to go. Some are looking for just, it's like a pinball in a pinball machine, kind of bouncing all over the place. Some of you are finding some direction. And yes, it might not be the most exciting, but you know where you're going overall. But others are just looking for something, some adventure, something to grab onto. They can't find anything. So basically, finding spiritual maturity is helping with a great deal. So basically, coming into this world as an alien being, we'll just use them for example, a starseed being, is like it's like going into the military. You are moving up the ranks, technically. This is a military planet, at least this dimension, what's happening here. It's just so many are used to being here for such a long time. You get used to, the chaos of the planet. Some of you have never gotten used to it for obvious reasons. Why should you? It's sometimes better to get used to it than you're part of the collective, but some just it's like impossible. So, and yes, your common man is very used to it. What they kind of look for is part of their growth. And some of you just don't need a part of your growth. You have other frequencies to go into. It's just like the whole nuclear situation there, though. To be an alien being, to really know how to turn off a nuclear bomb, for that matter. Some of that's known. Some of that no, it's known by different species, but some of it's definitely known by the Zetas. Some of their technology helped create it. So, and some of you can probably tap into your nuclear power plants, or that's alien technology. It might be primitive alien technology, of course. We'll just leave it with that. Blessings. Greetings, I am Pepe the Frog. I'm here for mostly humorous purposes, not here to get political, but if you want me to kick that around, I'll do it. Basically, an astral being that was downloaded into your collective consciousness. Was it meant to be? It's just like my energy kind of was like, like I'm a cool frog, you can say, easygoing frog. But even I got abused on your planet. But being my image was used for weaponization of political reasons. Even I had to take a break from your planet. Some of you probably have know the history of it to a certain level. So even if you are like, and technically, yes, basically I'm more of an astral being, but kind of like an alien. So they had a bit of an alien invasion through your memes. Yeah, Pepe the Frog. And it's funny how it's like it's right in front of everyone, but many are not picking up on it. Just see it as a cartoon character. They add all their political energies to it. But realize also, for me to be here, it is, it's understanding your world psychology, where your world is at. And yeah, it's used to being of a chaotic frequency. Well, it is releasing old timelines that were created in the past. Of course, you're not having as many wars as you did. There are wars going on, but nothing like in the past. So it's just you're going through a mental war, as you can see, a weaponized mental war. Basically, it's like sending a thought to somebody and blowing up their minds. I think some of you have seen a version of that. Or some have a triggered mental breakdowns. I think you understand it. Social, yes, even those are very positive here, some can be very weaponized too. They become very hypocritical of others. They don't realize they're doing it. They can be very judgmental. Not to say everybody's like that, but some are. They just like to get to a level of materialism and start dropping their mental bombs on everyone. Like, why isn't everybody like us? Why isn't everybody like us? Why isn't everybody copying us? But why don't people like us? Because they're not always self-aware. So eventually that'll be figured out. There's a lot of things that are not being figured out here. Well, eventually, yeah, so the planets will take itself more. Talk about high vibrational craziness. Like, you can go to a school and really learn about all this weirdness that you're doing now. Obviously, you're in the early stages of all this, but those of you that are connected to the aliens, yes, it has its dark side, it has its light side, but either way, it all has value here. It's not going to be, some of it will be erased, of course, because some don't want it to be known. They're just, for many different reasons. There's always an agenda to black things, cancel culture. Let's put it that way. course, that was used for cancel cultures. I'm the last person to cancel anybody. But eventually, all this astral knowledge, all this crazy that some of you are tapping into, will be studied in the future when humanity is ready. Right now, it just looks the other way because you're kind of working on like the modern mythology, on a spiritual level, spiritualists. Like I said, there's a light and a dark to it. It's not perfect, but it's still knowledge. And those are, yes, most of your population is oblivious. They kind of took the fun out of everything, but well, those like college kids and all that obviously are addicted to darkness and it's once again those political agendas. So that's why they're not always taking all the spiritual talk that seriously because your common person just needs the drama. Not everybody, but it kind of gets trends going. Oh, this person said that about that. That alien said that about that alien. Said their nose is too big. Oh, now it's all over the internet. That's all. Unfortunately, that's how your world works right now. I think some of you got some of the idea. Not everybody's like that, obviously. But that's what it seems like that gets the attention. So, good day. Greetings, I am the consciousness of Egghead, a multi-dimensional personality that absorbs others. Basically, yes, like your dark scientists, basically to sabotage other realities. Why is that? Well, there's your bald people, and then there's your egg people, your egg heads that have it's hard to pronounce, or I don't have the words for it exactly, but it's egotistical kind of a monster for some. It's basically, it goes back to your mad scientist. You can say your Tesla is involved with that. He's not exactly the bad guy, but he was seen as the villain by the egg people didn't like him. Let's put it that way. The egghead people are jealous of Tesla and so on. So they want to mimic him, copy his stuff, and so on. But the egghead might come to mind for some of you. It's a hatchling. It's aliens are grown from eggs and things of that kind. Your ego on your planet has to be healed. As many can't. They're having a lot of trouble doing that. Well, that'll add more diversity here. Healing that ego is very difficult. Obviously, egghead people have a lot of ego. But your world in general has a lot of ego. It's very self-absorbed. And for it to calm that down for more of finding its true self, for basically like letting out the shadow energies, which many underworld don't even recognize. Some are actually taking their shadow self and weaponizing it and using it against others. Oh, you were wrong about this. You didn't do this. They're actually attacking people and not even realizing it. So, obviously, being cryptic when we're talking about that. Well, yeah, this so-called, some feel like they're spiritual, but they're actually spiritually attacking others and not even realizing it. Well, somewhat. Yeah, they're just lost, you can say. Not everyone's like that, but there's some actors out there doing it. You can say that's warning. But the egghead energy is basically those that control realities. And some have difficulties understanding that. You kind of like it's the hidden villain. There are some good eggheads, but not many of them. Others want world domination. So this is something to think about as you're going through your healing process here. Even some of your teacher egghead people, some of them, have been dominating other societies to control worlds. Some of you might start remembering that. It's like, oh, remember that bald guy that took over our planet like a few million years ago? You're having a little bit of your wake up call. Some of you are going through a multi-dimensional awakening, but there's other awakenings you can go through. But yeah, having that secret egghead person that's just hidden behind the lines, nobody's thinking about it, and it's actually kind of manipulating reality. So, to give you something to think about and ponder in your ascension process.